Hello, Paulette.
Hello, Penny.
So we were introduced via my friend and VA, Lisa Bowen, and she was raving about you, and I'm very glad that she introduced us. You ended up working as a client, so we've gone through the niche steps together, which has been great. And I loved your energy and how you're doing things. So I wanted to get you on here. So thank you.
I'm honoured.
And so everybody knows as well, we had some tech issues before. So we've had a dress rehearsal and this is round two. So very, very much appreciated to have you here again, Paulette.
Thank you.
So we're going to get started with the question so that it can get you talking and less of me. And it's the first question about what got you started on your own path. So what was the push or the triggers, and what steps have you taken since from where you were and you wanted to make that change and where you are now?
Okay, so I'm a health and fitness professional. I haven't always been. I previously came from a corporate background, and I stopped because I had three children. And fitness, certainly with the third child, was as a means of keeping me sane, really. Um, Generally, that's how many women uh, get into it. It's just
Oh,
a
it's
way of just
frozen.
connecting with people. You're going to the gym, getting a break from the kids.
Sorry, it froze then for me from when you said after your third child
Okay.
kept you sane. We can edit again, so if you could just go back to that bit.
Okay. So yeah, when I had the third child, and it was a means of keeping me sane, getting me out, and connecting with people. And I did what normally women do. We do running, do a lot of HIIT classes, um, and really got into it. And it kept me strong, kept me fit, kept my mind sane. Um,
And what? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, what was the corporate thing? So, what, like, you had the three children, but what was the corporate
I was in
job that you were doing?
telecommunications, the very early days, pre-mobile phones. I was part of that generation, product developing and bringing that in. I'm responsible for it all. Part of that
We
wave.
don't hold you to
Yeah. So my life is a million miles away from that, but I do understand the pressures of professional women in that environment. Um, you know, desk bound, but we can go into that later. So I didn't go directly from having three children into health and fitness. I went in a different route. I started to do randomly. I was an upholsterer for a time because it kept me busy. I could work from home, and I did that for about 5 years, and it was at a crossroads
Wow.
where I decided, well, am I going to continue with this? The kids have grown older. They didn't need me to be around as much. I was still heavily into health and fitness at the time, and I thought, do something that I love. I wasn't going to go back into corporate life, so that's when I decided at age 50 to become a personal trainer.
And what were your steps from when you made that decision? What did you then have to do?
I then had to study with a load of children who was about my
Because
child,
that's a
my
brave
son's
move.
age. Yeah,
That's a brave move.
it was, and again at that age, um, taking on something so new, it was daunting, but I definitely had the passion for it, and I set any concerns I had aside because it was something that I loved. More daunting actually was then joining a gym as a newbie and being the oldest person in the gym as a professional. Um, but it was enlightening because received by the clients who were my age. And I'd go in, they'd come in, and they would have this feeling, this attitude that, it was all over for them. They couldn't do anything. Nothing could change. And it was lovely for me to say to them, well, actually, we're the same age. We're the same age. And, you can, if you work at it, you can make changes. You can get strong. You can get fit. You can change whatever it is you want to. And so it was the light bulb moment for me that I really thought, actually, I'm in the right place.
And then so to say from the right place, so you've obviously moved from doing it in the gym itself to running your own business.
Yeah.
So what was the steps with that as well?
With that, well, it became increasingly obvious that as part of the gym setup and the staff, you're only able to give a really small percentage of what a client needs. It becomes really a PT session because you're there with them for an hour and then they're off, and there is no continued connection with them. And they were needing more in terms of their nutrition, in terms of lifestyle changes and things like that. But it's very much volume based at the time, and certainly the hours for me as an older woman was not going to work. So I decided to leave and set up independently, and it was the best thing I ever done.
Another bold move, though.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I think it just becomes really obvious sometimes. Certainly for me, I've never been shy of making the break and moving on when it becomes really obvious that, if I have a passion to do something and I find that it's restricted in the environment that I'm in, that I can at least try and set up and make a go of it, however that may land.
I love it. And so I know that you've got the studio set up now at your place in Hertfordshire.
That's correct.
How did you get straight on with building that, or how did you go about working with the clients? Did you build it and they come, or did you start working with people and then gradually build
it? And then they came.
Fantastic.
So I had no presence I live in a village. I had no presence in terms of, because everybody knew me as an upholsterer. So, I had no presence. So
it's quite the shift.
Who are you? So what I did is I decided initially is that whereas I built a community within the gym, the idea was to come out and build a fitness community first. And so that's what I did. I set up classes locally and did it that way. And just built up connection through classes, and then steadily built up the PT training side.
Because the work that we've done together, so the Finding Your Niche, was that we've really landed on, and it's exactly what you spoke about, what you felt at the gym, this midlife and beyond, as we've called it. As like you had a saying, a quote as well that I loved from last time about not anti-aging but aging well.
Absolutely.
And being in the best shape of your life now. Like, it's not a secondary version of, it's like, this can be amazing right now. When did that sort of start to form itself as well for you? I know that you've made some changes recently to really focus down on that, but was it always that? Because as you mentioned, that those are the people that were sort of automatically coming to you anyway at the gym.
Yeah, definitely. Because as we're aging, things are starting to break, but they're definitely starting to get weakened. We're getting slower. Our strength, if we're not doing anything about it, is reducing. Muscles are reducing. Hormonally, that's being exacerbated. And the messaging for health and fitness for everyone is focusing on the physical side. And that message is so loud that
Yeah.
that is what women particularly are striving to fit that message, and they are working really hard at it to the point, to the detriment of themselves. Is it the message sometimes, if they're not sweating and feeling the burn, it's not working. And
Yeah.
that post 45 is not going to help. In fact, they're doing worse
Yeah.
for themselves than anything else. Fatigue, stress,
Yeah.
hunger levels, all those sorts of things. And it's a message, it's a tide that needs to be, you know, changed, that message. And
And you're
that's
doing it.
that's what I'm, yeah, they do come to me, and it's almost, you're doing too much. You're doing 5-7 days of hard exercise, cardio, hit, and that sort of thing. And no wonder you're tired. No wonder you're not getting any results. And muscles are being depleted because there's no strength. It's just lots of
Yeah.
cardio. And so, yeah, that I feel has been my most significant message is, pull it back, take a bit of time out for yourself. You don't have to work so hard, and focus on the strength. I sometimes watch women and they don't carry anything. They hand it off to their partners. They can't open a bottle because the grip strength has gone, and don't realise that all these things, those little things, every time they don't do something like that, they're compounding the problem, and it can only go one way. It's literally, use it or lose it, and so you have to be building
Yeah.
building that strength, and it's my main um, drive is strength building. That's what I
Yeah.
focus on, and it is the best prescription for midlife changes in terms of physical strength and mental strength.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's also the thing. It's like you mentioned at the gym that you just couldn't quite do enough when it was just that hour.
Mm.
And that, especially for midlife, that the executive coaching side, the nutrition side is also as important. And I know for I'm a exercise lover, but I also steer away from the younger instructors because they just don't understand the same. And I don't know whether it's just experience or how things are taught. Um, I had one younger Pilates, well, say younger, so say 30 because it's younger than me, Pilates instructor, and she was fantastic. But my other experiences have been they've just not understood injuries or like just other experiences that you have when you're getting older, and all the science behind that. I love all the study that you've done as well
Yeah,
to bring this to light.
yeah. Um, my focus is on midlife women, hormonal women, and I've done a lot of studying around that. And to your point where the younger trainers don't appreciate the life challenges that midlife women are juggling,
Yeah,
not sleeping, pairing around, looking after other people. They turn up, they don't necessarily have the energy to do the same thing that the 30-year-old that they've just trained, or the 20-year-old has just, it is a case of personalizing it each session for where
yeah,
they're at. Every time somebody walks in to see me, or I see them online, it's about, how are you? How's your week been? How's your day been? How's your sleep been? Tailoring it to
yeah.
support them. I think it's really quite important.
I love that because it is totally it's doing it your way as well. Like you try it at the gym and you go, it's not quite right. I'm gonna do the bits that I think are important, and giving yourself the space to do that for them, and then them coming to you for that. I think,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And sometimes when their stress is so high, you have to say, you're not ready for it today. go home, relax, do something kind to yourself, and come
Yeah.
back with, renewed energy. Have 2 weeks off. Sometimes it's really necessary.
And sometimes as well, and having that compassion, somebody to give you that compassion,
Yeah,
you're more likely to come back in 2 weeks rather than shy away from it and suddenly 6 weeks down the line and
yeah.
yeah, it becomes the monster to come back. No, I love that. So, well, then I would ask then. So then the next question is about when it comes to niche and going niche, which is what you've done with the midlife and beyond. Is what are the benefits that you see of going niche, and what have you felt yourself?
So I, by nature, am a people pleaser, and I would like to serve anybody that asks me. So I would be my historical client base would be 15-year-olds right up to 85-year-olds, which is great, and I have trained to support all of those. But I found myself not being able to serve the way I wanted to the people that I wanted to. Um, and it was a dilution of what I could do to make a greater impact. And so to that end, I've literally cut my client base to be able to focus on those people that I know that I can, because I am them, the midlife women. That's me. I understand what they're going through. I understand their powerlessness as they're aging, and how they feel in terms of what their hormones are doing to them, what their bodies are doing to them, what their minds are doing to them. And I feel that focusing on that group, showing them, encouraging them, um, makes more of an impact to them and also to me, really.
That's that's a good one.
I feel I
So you
can
can
make
go
a greater impact for them, and that's way more satisfying.
and oh, sorry, I'll edit that bit out. It just went out of my head. Sorry, Daisy. Um, so yeah, and so then how would you? So that's the benefits of it. So then, would you be able to describe it? Do you think describe going niche or what niche is? How does it look to you?
To me, it's to be able to go deeper in the clients that I'm focusing on, which is the midlife women, going deeper into their issues, their needs, their desires, and to serve them. So it's not surface level. It's not just move, just train. It is going and taking a whole approach in terms of their sleep, their lifestyle, how it can work, how they feel about themselves, and binding that together. And it's about not just strength of body, but strength of mind,
Yeah.
and serving that, filling
No,
the
I love that.
gaps for them, showing them the way.
Well, and it's almost as well. You mentioned yourself being about like tailored and bespoke, but I guess it's that's how it feels. If people also feel really seen and recognised, that's such a nicer feeling that you can be helping someone with that because these things can be huge things for people.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think it
That
can be quite life changing.
Yeah, and the relationship, that coach relationship, is a significant one. And I hadn't really appreciated how deep it goes in terms of what's exchanged in a coaching session. It goes quite, very deep. It's more than just movement. It's more than just training. It is
Yeah.
all about how they feel, and ultimately, it is fortifying how they feel.
What's one of the biggest transformations that you've seen? I know that you mentioned before it was somebody in the 70s, I think. I don't know whether that was the one or if you have one that's been like quite a meaningful transformation for you.
Well, I did mention the one in a woman who was she had come to me, and all her peers in their 70s had basically gone the route which people expect. I mean, when you think of an older woman, there's an image. There's an image of slowed down, not checked out of life, but really there's no inspiration, there's no spark. And she wasn't like that. She's not like that. And she felt she was being dragged down. Um, and there was no hope for her. And then I've been working with her now for about 6 months or so now, and I, I do laugh. She does walk in like Beyonce. You know, she leaves like Beyonce. She's strong. She's lifting heavy. You know, there's a few um, there's a few people that she's trying to not emulate, but there's a very famous woman whose name I can't remember, an older woman who has got an incredible shape, and we're using that as a beacon of hope for her, and she is all in, you know, and she's zip wiring with her grandchildren, you know,
I love it.
she's climbing mountains, and she's all up for it, and she got the strength to do it. And you know, as we get
I
older,
love it.
shoulder problems, all that, she couldn't raise her arms very well in terms of extension, and just through the movement she's stronger, so all movement patterns have improved, knee issues, um, and yeah, it's wonderful. But that's a physical change and a mental change. Yeah.
Yeah, both
But yeah,
together.
but also it's not always that simple. You know, some people, I've had one woman who I've had for 3 years, but her psychological issues have been more so entrenched that she's had to work through that to get to the point where she can then move on. And I mean, I asked the question with her this week and said, you know, are you just your body? Is it, does your weight define you? And she's come to the realization it does not. It doesn't matter what she, you know, her weight, you know, how does she want to feel? How does she want to show up for her children? And she's, you know, she said countless times that if I wasn't, you know, there, you know, she wouldn't be where she is, and she's come a long way.
Ah, fantastic. Is there is there three, don't know, maybe this is a bit of a cheeky one to throw in, but is there three tips that you might have that somebody listening could already be some, whether it was one from each pot, the strength, nutrition and lifestyle, or just three general tips? Thinking of us desk bound type midlifers.
Okay, so I think the messages for health and fitness has always been all about the physical. You can't move on Instagram and various places for all these midlife women giving some, which is great, and I'm all about that, you know, because movement is, for me, movement is life, right? But the physical, the motivation for the aesthetic can only go so far. That motivation for the healthy side of your life can only go so far if you're only looking at the physical self. You know, to the point, if you buy a new car, you love it, it's a sheen. You always wanting to wash it and keep it clean and everything like that. But as it's aging, you're more focused on the fact that it's going to run and be effective and efficient all the time. And that's how we should be thinking about our bodies. So
So shift in mindset.
shift your mindset. Shift your mindset, because we have only one body, and we're all working, certainly professional women and anyone, all working to have a good life, to do things. We go on holiday, and we go and have experiences, but you want that body to serve you in all those things, to be able to walk, explore. So you want cardio fitness, you want to be able to move pain free, you don't want a bad back. So you need to maintain what you have. You need to maintain what you have, and I'll tell you
And
something.
love what you have.
Absolutely love what you have. And you know, the health system is broken. We need to start looking after ourselves
Yeah.
and not expecting
Yeah.
to go and get a pill or the services of the health system. It is down to us to
Yeah.
maintain,
More preventative.
without question. Yeah. So
No,
that's the
I like
health
that.
side. Nutritionally, so the health side is we have to lift, and part of that training is it is, as you're getting older, you're women, as we're getting older, the hormonal shift means that you are going to almost certainly be losing muscle and bone strength because of the hormonal shifts. Therefore, we must incorporate some form of strength training and move away from just running or hip training. You need to load the body. And you also need to eat for that as well.
Yeah.
So nutritionally, it is to increase protein to support muscle growth, and calcium in some form for bone health. So it doesn't have to be milk. You know, there are other options available, but that also needs to be supported.
Okay.
And also for mindset, it is about being compassionate to ourselves. We are juggling an awful lot. For children, if you have them, job, which is taking a lot of time, a lot of things going on there, and you may have family members that you're looking after. I
Yeah.
certainly do. So the plate is full.
Yeah.
And so you need to be able to take time out for yourself, or think about how you can get some sort of respite in all of that mix. And it will help, certainly, as we all go through that pre and post menopausal firestorm.
Because it's coming, or you're
Yeah,
either in it
it's
or it's coming.
coming in different forms.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of symptoms that we're now becoming become
More aware.
more aware of.
The conversations are happening.
Absolutely, but I think one of the things that is being missed is the mental side
Yeah.
of it, and it is real. So
Yeah.
you kind of need to be able to support that, definitely.
No. I love it. I love the work you're doing. So then I guess number 3, what is next for you and your niche of midlife and beyond? Where is this taking you and your clients right now?
So I am now moving into the therapeutic side to support that mental instability, that mental firestorm that goes on, because
Nice.
it's just not the physical. You are dealing with lots of changes, and women are dealing with lots of changes, and they need to be heard, and they need navigation through that. So my next role is to be able to use that as part of my services, and I'm looking forward to it, having those coaching
Amazing.
to support them.
Amazing. I love that. And we'll put in the show notes, we will put a link to your website and your socials. Is there any other links or books or articles that you think could be good recommendations that we could add in there as well? And if not, it's fine. There's plenty to go on with those two. But is there anything that you can recommend?
I would recommend The Untethered Soul, I think, and I cannot remember who the author is.
What's that about?
Yeah. Edit that.
We'll edit that out.
Discovery. Edit that out.
Brain fog in the reel. We've done one each. So it's fair. It's fair. Untethered Soul.
Yeah.
We can cut that out. No, that'd be a lovely one. We'll put that in there. So, and then we'll go. So yeah, no, thank you very much, Paulette, and thanks for joining us, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you very much.